Hey, welcome back to I Confess with Travis. I'm your host, Travis Bartlett. And today, instead of me making a phone call today, I thought I might as well go ahead and start talking about what men actually want in a woman. Now, I'm not trying to talk about sex or beauty or their body. I'm not trying to talk about that. I'm talking about men are looking for a woman who actually has a responsibility. Because nowadays, with women, they do not want to have any responsibilities. The world that we live in now is horrible. What I'm going to tell you is basically going to be true facts about how women act in front of men and what men want in response when it comes to women. Like, for example, now I know I might be a little late because I know this started like a year ago where women were basically putting men on blast all over social media talking about that men should never talk, men should provide, men should give me money, men should give, me whatever I want. Men should be a slave. Men should be doing this. Men should be doing that. But yet, you got women who act like that this is okay, and this is why a man wants to not date that woman. Because women nowadays will make up all kinds of stupid stuff just so they can get money or whatever they want, and they don't realize it. But what a man really wants when it comes to dating a woman is that a man wants a woman who has responsibilities, more maturity, who actually has a job, brings in money, helps pay bills. That's basically what men want in a woman, just so they can have a little bit of money and not have women blow their boyfriend's money on shit that they do not need. And I can tell you right now that there's a lot of women out these days who thinks like they want to live in this whole fairy tale land. Well, I'm looking for a man that can give me money. I'm looking for a man where me and him can get married and live in a sugar castle where you got cats and dogs actually talk. You got fish are literally playing in the water. Then you got birds that are actually singing. I mean, I can go on about this whole fairy tale thing, but if you women want money so badly, all I can say is get a job. That is the number one thing that a man wants to be happy. Because what I'm actually hearing is just straight up lazy. And then you got women that want to say things like, well, I'm too pretty to get a job. I can't get a job. I'm more important to get a job. But yet you want a man to give you money just so you don't have to work. I mean, what I'm going to say is I don't want to make this sound dumb and stupid. And I have a feeling that a lot of men are actually going to hate me on this. But I'm going to give you an example. Like, I would not care if a woman was working at Hooters or if she was working at a strip club. If she's coming home bringing in income so we can use the money to pay bills, utilities, and groceries, that would be okay for us men. Now, I'm not trying to make it sound like that a man should let their girlfriends go out stripping or working at Hooters because those two jobs right there are considered cheating. Now, what I just said earlier was just an example. Now, if I do have a girlfriend and she's like working at a strip club or Hooters, it's over. Because what a man wants is a woman who actually has a job. Now, I don't want you women getting up on this podcast talking about, well, if us women got to get a job, then a men's got to get a job. Okay, first of all, men do have jobs. They're making minimum wage money and working hard working labor jobs, and they're making at least about like 40, 50, or even 60 hours in 1 week. You got some men that are actually working two jobs, but yet you got women out here who think like, oh, I'm just a woman. I can just do and say and get, and do whatever I want, get away with it, never go to jail. I can do whatever. That's just an excuse. And they can get a job, they just choose not to get a job. That's just making it worse on the woman because they're talking about that they don't want to do all these responsibilities, but yet you want a man to give you all this money just so you can buy stuff. First of all, if you want money so badly and you want to go out buying something that you actually want, all us men are actually going to say you're going to get a job. I mean, you even got parents out here are literally telling their own kids, not just women, but men too, to actually get a job so they can come home, pay rent, pay bills. But it's a lot of men are complaining because like they don't ever have money, and that's why men don't want to give their girlfriends any money because women want to blow our money on shit that they don't need. Like, for example, if a woman was to get child support money, they're going to use that child support money on themselves instead of using the money on the child. And I can tell you right now, you got to watch out for those women. And what they're going to do, they're going to try to squeeze their way in, scam you out of this whole child support so that you can give them more money for the child, even though, like I said, they're just using the money for themselves. And then y'all want to know why men never have money. So if you're a woman and you got yourself an actual job, I'm actually proud of you. I'm supporting you. I worked at like all these 10 fucking jobs where you have women working, you have women that are actually getting paid, you have women that are actually buying groceries. Those are the women that us men actually want to see, is a woman who actually has a job. Because if you're a woman and you say, I don't want a job, I want a man to take care of me, first of all, a man's not going to take care of you. Because if you was to tell them that you didn't want a job or that you quit your job because you didn't want to do the hard work and labor, look, your boyfriends are actually going to break up with you. I've worked at like all these jobs and I've seen a lot of women who work nonstop. And I can tell you right now, those women that actually do have a job and do work, I'm actually very proud of you women for actually stepping up and finding a job just so you can get a roof over your head, a little bit of income and stuff. But to the women who think that this is all a joke, living in fairy tale land where bills and jobs don't exist, then y'all need to start finding one. Get out of this whole fantasy world and start living in reality. Because all I'm saying is, you women are a lot smarter than that. I can tell you right now that you did not graduate from high school to act like this. Your parents never raised you to act like this. So technically, the person that's been raising you is yourself. So if you want to act like this, then no one's not going to hire you. No boyfriend is going to take care of you. And all I can say is, you need to get a life. Because right now, you're living in reality world, not fairy tale land. So get out of fairy tale land and go into reality. Because I can tell you right now, this is not a cartoon. This is real. Those are the women you gotta watch out for. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and take a break, and I will be right back to take my first call. Hi, welcome back. And today I thought about not making a phone call because I had something in my mind I actually want to talk to you guys about. People being lazy. This is going to be a very interesting topic to talk about. And the reason why I'm bringing this topic up is because I want a lot of people to understand that if you're that person who's actually lazy, and then you want to say that you can do it, but you don't want to do things. And to me, when I hear things like that, that's basically what you call an excuse and being lazy. Like I said earlier in this podcast, where I was talking about how women want to be treated like a queen, women don't want to do anything. I mean, that's just what I was just talking about. The reason why I wanted to bring this up is because you got a lot of people who want to be lazy and they don't want to get a job. I mean, I've got something I just want to say about that. It's just like, if you're that lazy and you choose not to get a job, or you choose not to do anything, you want people to do all your work, it's like you might as well just pay these people to do your work for you. Even though you're already at that age where, let's say you're a teenager, you're in your 20s, you're in your 30s, you're in your 40s. It don't matter how old you are. You still have to get your ass up and do something. Because don't expect, let's say, your parents to clean up your room, make your food, make your bed, do your laundry. But yet, you're like one of those people who's like, well, I got more important things to do than doing all of this stuff. Well, if all of this is not important, then what's so important that you can't seem to clean up a house or get a job or do anything? And then they want to make up an excuse and say, well, I just got things to do. Like, if you're not going to tell us what this things that you're doing that's so important, then you know what? It's just an excuse just so they don't have to do anything for the parent. And I can tell you right now, like, we're not kids anymore. We are practically grown as adults, okay? If God gave you arms and legs for a reason, that means you have to use them. So all you're going to do is make up an excuse saying things like, well, I can't do that. That's too much work. Oh, I don't want to clean up my room. I don't want to do laundry. I don't want to do the dishes. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. Like, and you hear that constantly from people who don't seem to understand what the word laziness is. And I can tell you right now, I've worked with a lot of people. They would get to the point where they would feel like, well, I feel tired. I feel miserable. I mean, I get that. The reason why you are tired and miserable is because you've been working like 8, 10, or even 12-hour day shifts. Those people, you need to like let them do whatever they want. But I'm talking about the people that are just straight up lazy. If you're that lazy, then no one's not going to hire you. No one's not going to work for you. You're just going to rot in bed all day. And then you're going to get to the point where you're going to need your parents for something. I'm going to give you an example of how lazy people can be. Like, let's say you got something important to do. Then you got people are like, well, I need you to do this. I need you to do that. I need something. I want something to eat. I'm starving. I'm hungry. I need a ride somewhere. But yet, you got a driver's license. You can cook for yourself. You can actually fend for yourself. If you got somewhere you need to go, just go. You don't need me or anybody else to do your work. I mean, I don't mind helping out. But like, let's say, like, if you're a baby or an elderly, that's a different story. Because you have to help them. Because with the baby, they ain't gonna know how to change their own diapers. They ain't gonna know how to feed themselves or whatever. That's why you have to do it. Same thing like when your parents are getting to that age, or your grandparents are getting to that age where they can't seem to walk in their own house. Then you got people that are going through dementia, and that's where you really got to help them out. But if you're in your teens, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, or whatever, how old you are, all I can say is God gave you arms and legs for a reason. You better use them. If you're not going to use it, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to waste my time doing something that I have something important to do just so I can drop everything for you that you can do yourself. Let me tell you a little story. Me and my sister, we knew this lady since the day me and my sister were born. Now, she's not really our grandmother, but we've always called her one. She's got a son and a granddaughter who has been taking advantage of her, using her, taking her money, taking her cars, and all this stuff. All because they don't have a job and they are just straight up lazy. They're homeless, they have nowhere else to go, and they are expecting this 90-year-old woman to take care of them. Now, do you see what's wrong with this picture that I'm actually telling you about? All I can tell you is the granddaughter is about to be 30. The dad is actually 62, and he wants to be babied by his own 90-year-old mother. I don't know what to say about that, but obviously I feel like there's something wrong with that picture. If you're that lazy, then I don't know what to tell you. Well, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and go. Sorry that I had to cancel this phone call, but this was a really good topic to talk about. I know next week I'm definitely going to end up talking to 2 other people on my podcast. So if you guys actually want to be on my podcast, please text 478-901-4445. That's 478-901-4445. And I will talk to you guys next week.